Hello everyone, this is Faith and Books. I have a very awkward setup here. I'm in my husband's car this time, and it's because there's no privacy in my house. I mean, talk about social distancing. We have 7 people living there, and there's no privacy. You can't, and my husband has to work from home today, so I can't even go to my bedroom. So he's locked himself in there. He's working from home because somebody tested positive for the coronavirus, and so they closed his office for cleaning. So, anyway, I'm just going to do this from the car. And I had this brainstorm of an idea where I thought that I would do a theme a day during this quarantine to help people who are unexpectedly homeschooling, or even people who are stuck at home and they want fun things to do. And so I thought that that's what I would start doing. I'm going to try and put one up every day. That'll be kind of fun if I can squeeze it in. And today is March 16th, and I was looking it up on some website. Sometimes I go to these websites where they tell you stuff that happened on a particular date. There's one called, I think it's called This History Site or The History Place. I'll find it and link below. And then there's another one that's just on this day, I think it's called. Anyway, you can just Google and find something like that. But I was going through what happened on March 16th, and in 1929, Congress passed a law called the Migratory Bird Conservation Act. And so I thought, oh, that's cool, because one of the things we can do while we're social distancing, I don't have any place to put this phone, so I'm just propping it on the the steering wheel. Anyway, one of the things we can do is bird watch, and it's spring and the birds are out. So this is actually an excellent time of the year to bird watch. So I thought the theme for today will be birds. So with the 4-year-old, we got up and we already read some books. These all seem to have a duckling theme to them, or ducks. We read The Ugly Duckling by Hans Christian Andersen, and we read one of his favorites, Make Way for Ducklings. We have a funny story about this one. When we went up to my son's wedding in Boston, did I tell this story already? Anyway, they were in a cab. The little 4-year-old was in a cab with my husband. He was going to be the ring bearer. He was very cute. And my husband was pointing out all the different parts of Boston as they were driving. And he said, look, and here's the river. It's the James River. Well, the James River is the river that runs through Richmond, Virginia. We're from Virginia. And the little 4-year-old, who was 3 at the time, said, no, it's the Charles River. He corrected my husband. And it was because we had read this book so many times that he knew it was the Charles River. Anyway, so I would say, I mean, you probably can't go to the library right now, but I would dig through your books and find any books that have the theme of birds in them. We haven't read this one yet, but I'm sure it's coming up at some point today, Angus and the Ducks. Somewhere we have a book called Feathers for Lunch, which is really cute, and it helps kids identify all the common backyard birds. So that's a really good one for bird watching with little kids. But as an adult, if you have a bird guide somewhere, dig it out. Or, thank God, we have the internet now. You can get online and Google most common birds in your area and then go out and try and spot them. You can do this from your window. You can do it with kids. You can put some paper and a pencil by a window and have them go at various times during the day to look out and count how many birds they see. And this is a really good chance to teach how to do tally marks to kids, which they really like. Where you do the 4 strokes and then you cross over for the 5th. This also connects really well to teaching counting by 5s. And I don't know if you can get to this or not. You probably can, because I think all the Schoolhouse Rock songs are on YouTube. But I would find the one for the number 5 and maybe sing that as you're learning about tallying. So that could be a fun thing to do. And you could do this just on your own as an adult if you're just curious and you've never really watched birds in your backyard. But if you have 2 different windows and 2 different kids, you could have them assigned to different windows and they could go and count. And, maybe out of one window you see mourning doves and the other one you see sparrows or whatever. But that could be something fun to do. And if you have binoculars, that makes it even better. But going on a walk is a great thing to do because we need that vitamin D from the sun. We need the fresh air to strengthen our lungs and to, help us fight this coronavirus. So I would say go for a walk in your neighborhood. You can still be social distancing, or go to a park where the trails are open. I know around here the nature centers and the visitor centers are closed, but you can still go to the property itself and walk around and bird watch. And this is, at least in Virginia, this is still a nice time to actually look for birds' nests as well. So that's kind of neat. There's squirrels' nests. They're the big messy ones. But then you can notice other little nests around too and try to figure out which birds live there. So bird watching is a really fun thing, and you can spin off from birds, from the theme of birds, and do so many different things. I mean, you can study flyways. You can go research flyways about bird migration, and that's a little bit of geography if that's something that you or your kids are interested in. You can do all sorts of things with eggs. You can there's a really fun experiment where you cover an egg with vinegar and the shell dissolves. It's really kind of magical. It takes a couple of days, 2 to 4 days maybe. But Google that. You can start to save things to naturally dye your Easter eggs. So if you've got like purple cabbage, save some scraps. If you've got beets, save some scraps. If you've got yellow onion skins, save those, and you can be saving those in your freezer, and then take them out and again, Google for instructions, but you can practice dyeing your Easter eggs. Let's see, what are some other things that I thought of? Oh, you can research the connection between birds and dinosaurs. Kids love dinosaurs. The 4-year-old right now is getting into a dinosaur stage. So that's an interesting thing to do. You can study flight, how things fly, compare birds with bats or whatever. Or what else? I had a long list, but it's really awkward here for me to access it. What else? You can just teach cooking while the kids are home, and have them learn how to make omelets or frittatas, or even just plain old hard-boiled egg, or make scrambled eggs. Oh, I can't get it to come on. Oh, darn it. Anyway, I'll list all my ideas below in the show notes, as someone puts it. I think it's Alan Morton. And what else was I thinking you could do? Oh, yeah. You could look up poems about birds, and you could challenge each other to memorize a poem. And then this evening, when the day is done and you've cleaned up the kitchen, you can all take turns reciting your poem or your song. If it's a song, volare or alouette, you might learn another language. And then maybe you can sit down and watch a movie that's based on birds. Like, one of my favorite movies ever, and I might watch it today, is Winged Migration. I love the music to that. I listened to it for like a year. That was the music that I listened to in my car. But I love that. What other movies are there about birds? I know there are, and you can just think about it and do a search and come up with the ones that you want. Isn't there one, Chicken Run? What else? There was one about the girl who was taking care of the geese up in Canada. What was that? That came out in like the 80s or 90s, maybe 90s. Anyway, so find a movie, watch a movie about birds, or watch a documentary about birds. The other thing you can do is draw birds. You can, again, Google lessons on drawing birds. That's a fun thing to do. Or print out some coloring pages with birds if your children are more into coloring, or you're more into coloring. That's another thing you can do. But the best thing is to get out. We're going to go for a walk today. I don't know if we're going to go to a park or just walk around the neighborhood and look for birds today. Another thing you can do is make a bird feeder. If you have bird seed, or you have some kind of like raw seeds, sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds or something, you could find a pine cone, roll it in peanut butter, and then roll it in the bird seed. Or you could, even an empty toilet paper roll, you could string it up and coat it in peanut butter and then seeds. Yeah, or just toss some out on the lawn. Anyway, that helps with observing birds too. Um, let's see, I can't think of anything else right now. But anyway, so that's the theme for the day, and I hope you find it helpful. Oh, and for adults, I was thinking just start reading a book that has a bird in it, like To Kill a Mockingbird, um, Jonathan Livingston Seagull, Eagle of the Ninth. Right now, I'm reading Eagle Against the Sun, which is about World War II. It's really interesting. I just finished reading about Wake Island, and then MacArthur in the Philippines and that whole debacle. So anyway, read a book with the or a short story or whatever with the with a bird in the title. Anyway, that's about all I've got to offer for now. And I will be back tomorrow with another unexpectedly homeschooling theme of the day. Talk to you later. Stay healthy. Bye.